Hey, what's up everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in. Today we're going to break down Hereditary, the newest horror mystery from A24 starring Toni Collette, written and directed by Ari Aster, so let's dive into this thing. Now, in my opinion, the horror genre is as tough to crack as comedy when trying to appeal to mass audiences. I think what people deem scary from one person to the next is extremely varied, and sure, there are some general concepts which are effective to a majority of people, but I think regardless, something being scary is subjective. I also think there are two main types of delivery for the horror genre. Some films focus on building horror elements from a more mental aspect, and others from a visual standpoint. I think with good genre films being able to really be effective at both, which I definitely think this film was. It focused on building fear from more of a mental side as the story dives into the layers of these characters and the family, but there are some moments of frightening imagery that I think were extremely well done. Our own imagination can often kind of scare us more than anything that we can see or hear, and this film really knows that. It utilizes it and it blends it with some ominous visuals. I think more than a simple horror film, this was a subtly tense, uneasy movie to watch, primarily because of its uniqueness. It was very methodical and extremely foreboding. The story really peels back the different family dynamics with a lot of intention which you were really unaware of, and it creates a genuine unpredictability and intrigue as things progress. This wasn't a movie with a lot of in-your-face attempts at fright or routine jump scares that kind of feel like a trip through a haunted house attraction on Halloween. It was a very slow-paced delve into the dark history of this family with a lot of thought-provoking elements and still imagery that really do give you enough to let your imagination build so you can run wild with it, and I think it complements it with some nicely crafted scenes that do build a lot of fear, which is where I think this film will ride fine lines with audiences. When a movie isn't laying its message right out there for you to take in as a viewer and some things are left to kind of plug in on your own, I think the degree of how much is left for audiences to kind of pick up on and decipher varies with everybody. Thus, these types of movies tend to be extremely divisive with audiences. Take films like It Comes at Night or The Witch, for example. Some people are just drawn into this style of storytelling and filmmaking, and some people are not. I actually enjoyed The Witch, but It Comes at Night was a miss for me, so it can always go one way or the other, but I do think Hereditary was a success. It was able to creep me out by developing a dark storyline that really got my mind wandering, and it spikes it nicely with a lot of tension and some unsettling visuals, but I do think it was a little bit longer than it needed to be. At just under 2 hours, or actually just over 2 hours for a story like this, it was just kind of unnecessary. It just felt like there were some repetitive scenes that could have been tightened up a little bit. There were some moments of methodical, slow panning camera work that I think really did work effectively in building a lot of eeriness and uneasiness, but there were also some moments that I think could have been trimmed back a little bit, as they didn't do much to really bolster any of the implications that we didn't really know already from other scenes. So despite having a strong opening and closing act, the middle of the film did feel overly long, even though there were some intense moments sprinkled in. For me, it wasn't a major issue, primarily because of the fantastic performances, in particular from Toni Collette, who I think completely killed it in this role. I felt Collette really immersed herself into this performance, and it created a very interesting character that had many unpredictable elements. There were many layers to her personality, many unknowns, and I think with her grounded personality, it just makes you that much more compelled to want to learn more about her. Collette was absolutely intense. She was very charming at times. She was very sinister during other moments, and I thought overall she poured more than enough depth into this character. She hit some powerfully emotional moments with ease, and I think for what this film needed, Toni Collette was perfectly casted, and she gave a performance that was worthy of award consideration. Millie Shapiro as young Charlie was great as well. She was able to pull off kind of feeling like a normal, innocent kid, but at the same time, she was able to just switch seamlessly to a darker, more sinister personality, but in an understated way, which I found very intriguing. And I thought Gabriel Byrne made the most out of a formulaic role. He didn't have much of an impact on things, but he's a veteran of the business, and he certainly did add some life and emotion to the character, and I think Alex Wolff was great as well. He had some emotionally intense scenes that did land with impact, and he was a great addition to the film as well, really pouring a lot of heart and emotion into this performance, making the most out of the character. And overall, I really enjoyed what Ari Aster did from both a writing and a directorial aspect, and with this being his first full-length film, I'm definitely excited to see where he goes from here. The story really did show a lot of intent. It knew what it wanted to be, and it never lost its focus, despite being a little bit slow at times. But I thought the visual aspect of the film was very well done. The methodical approach to the camera technique really did feel perfectly tailored for the tone of the storyline. I thought the lighting and the set design were all nicely done. It was a very polished movie with a nice, capable feel, but it also had a grim, cold tone, which I really did enjoy. So I'm gonna have to give Hereditary 85% on the entertainment meter. It's been a couple days since I've watched it. The more I think about it, the more substance I pull out of the story, which is always a good thing for a thought-provoking movie. It's a suspenseful storyline with strong moments of mystery, and I think together these dynamics really do result in some effective horror moments that are built up by an excellent performance from Toni Collette that on its own make this movie worth a watch. I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. If you did, drop it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, leave a comment. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to catch all the new videos. All my social media links are down in the description below. You can visit our official website at silverscreenanalysis.com for all kinds of movie-related content. And I'm also proud to announce that our merchandise store is now open on TeePublic. Your best dressed days no longer have to be just weddings and first dates, so swing by there, get some merchandise, and look good all the time. And that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I definitely appreciate it. I'm Anthony. This is the Silver Screen Analysis, and I'll see you at the movies.